All right, if you're a cashew farmer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That heavy morning mist. Forever, it's been seen as a good sign, right? But what if that's just wrong? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the real story behind that so-called salty dew and find out what it really means for your harvest. I mean, so many of us grew up hearing exactly this, right? The elders would say it and you'd believe it. It was this piece of wisdom, passed down from one generation to the next, a sure sign that a good season was on its way. Okay, but let's just pause for a second and really think about that. Does that old belief still hold water in today's world of farming? With everything we know now from science, does it still make sense? And here's the big question. Could sticking to that old tradition actually be costing you? I mean, really costing you a chunk of your crop?
So let's start by looking back. Let's dig into this traditional belief.
Yeah, for generations, this heavy dew, or choap, was just a good thing, no questions asked. It was seen as a totally natural, positive part of the farming cycle. You'd see it and you'd think, okay, great, this is gonna be a good season. It was a promise of a healthy harvest to come. But, and this is a big but, science tells a totally different story. So now let's get into the science of what people are now calling salty dew. And wow, talk about a complete 180. What used to be seen as a good omen is now being called salty dew, or even acid dew. I mean, think about that shift. These aren't just new nicknames, you guys. They're a massive warning sign. So what's really going on? Is the dew actually salty or acidic? Well, the surprising answer is no, not really. The real problem, the true enemy here, is something a lot simpler: high atmospheric humidity. All that moisture just hanging in the air, it creates the absolute perfect breeding ground for nasty diseases, the kind that can completely wreck your cashew plants.
It happens just like this, in a really fast and destructive chain reaction. So first, you get that heavy fog or mist rolling in. Boom. The humidity in the air just shoots way up. That super moist air becomes like a perfect incubator for diseases to explode. And then bam, those pathogens go on the attack, hitting your cashew flowers, your new shoots, your young nuts, everything.
Okay, so we know how it happens, but how do you actually spot the damage on your own trees before it gets out of hand? Let's talk about what to look for.
All right, this is what you need to be looking for. Get out there and check your plants really closely. Are the flowers withering up and getting dry, or are they just not developing right? Look for little black spots popping up. Are the young shoots looking sick? And here's the big one, the major red flag. If you see young nuts turning black and just dropping off the tree, that's a huge sign that you've got a serious problem. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. We know the cause. Now for the part you've been waiting for. What on earth do we do about it? Let's dive into how to protect your cashews. And you know what? The solution is actually pretty simple. It boils down to two key actions: protect and treat. It's all about getting ahead of the problem, taking control instead of just reacting after the damage is already done. So how do you actually do that? The absolute key is preventative medicine. Seriously, think of it like putting up a shield around your crop. You've got to defend your plants before that humidity creates a problem, because if you wait until you see those black spots, well, you're already losing money. You're already losing your harvest. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe the most important point. This is about more than just what you spray. It's about a whole new way of thinking. It's about taking a proactive approach. So, if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Don't wait for the dew. Don't wait to see it on the flowers. The real trigger, the real signal to act, is the weather itself. The second that air feels humid and gets misty, that's your signal. That is the moment you need to move to protect your investment. See, this knowledge puts the power back where it belongs, in your hands. It's not up to the weather anymore. That old omen, it's been replaced by solid science. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know the real story behind salty dew, what's your game plan for the next misty season?